Hi, great family, and welcome to episode 5 of our podcast show. I am Maya.
And I'm Shannah.
And today's episode is TUI and what even is basic greyhound training.
Cool.
Yes, looking forward to that. So what has happened in the last 2 weeks in our kennels?
Well, we recently just rehomed a blue greyhound called Mary Lou. She has gone off to her new home, which is really awesome. And our kennels are full. We currently have 4 foster greyhounds who are all looking for their forever home. What else happened was Fatima from Nightrave stopped in and she had 6 recently retired greyhounds, and they were all from the South Island, which was really cool. But they were all really fluffy because she said that because it's cooler down south, obviously, so they have more fur. It was so cool. They were all so fluffy. Like there were some brindles and some fawns or red ones.
Beautiful.
And there was one black one because I really love the black ones. She only had one black one. Yeah.
And I think she's getting all the red labeled dogs from the South Island.
Yeah.
Because Nightrave is the only kennel that's actually training them.
Yeah. So Nightrave train up what they call the red dogs. So there are 3 categories once the greyhounds finish racing: green, red, or amber. And red dogs are the ones that need training before they can be rehomed. The green dogs are the dogs that we received from Nightrave, and they are all ready to go into their new homes.
Because they are the experts in dog training, aren't they?
Nightrave are, yes, they are. They're phenomenal.
And this is why we feature them today as well.
Yeah, we do. We feature Rachel from Nightrave in the episode, and she shows you how to do some really cool little tricks with your greyhound.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at Te Paranui is that we have now, because summer is coming and we have lots of volunteers coming through, they want to volunteer at Te Paranui, and we have now a dedicated animal volunteer who is actually doing all day our animals, including the dogs. And we never had that before, so we have lots of help all of a sudden.
It's really good.
That's very, very cool. She's a German girl, her name is Carlotta, and she is so lovely with the dogs and so precise.
She doesn't want them to leave. She's really sweet.
So that's actually great. And thank you to Carlotta for doing that.
Yeah.
What else was going on?
Oh, well, a greyhound trainer stopped by last week to collect Mary Lou to send her to her new home. And he had with him, his name was Steve, and he had with him a greyhound called Penny Mac, who is, I think, one of the quickest greyhounds in New Zealand at the moment.
Whoa.
Yeah, but it was really awesome getting to talk to him. And he told us that he currently has 12 greyhounds in his care who he is training. And he also has 2 from memory pet greyhounds that he retired that are now his. And he said that Penny is his absolute best friend, and that once Penny has finished racing, he will move into the house to be with Steve. It was really awesome.
And I'm sure he will breed from him.
Yes, yeah. He was just really cool, and it was really awesome to see him care for the dogs. And he breaks down a couple myths for us that we will definitely feature in another episode.
Awesome, that was lovely to see this.
Yeah.
I was surprised how much weight he has, because I always thought the racing greyhounds are so skinny, but he was quite well covered. So interesting.
And for the New Zealanders watching, he feeds the dogs Weet-Bix for breakfast sometimes, which is the breakfast of champions if you're from New Zealand, which I thought was really funny. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah. Some news from the podcast team, which is Shannah and me. We are heading into summer, and the summer is a very exciting time here at the top of the South Island of New Zealand. There's lots of outdoors. Hopefully it will be very hot, and lots of things to do. And so we decided that we want to put out the podcast now every 3 weeks instead of every 2 weeks, just to give us a little bit more time to do all the other fun things that we do in summers, like just life. Because actually, believe it or not, it's quite a big job to produce a podcast show. And although we love it and we definitely want to continue it, we thought we have to give us a little bit more time in summer. And also we would really love to hear what you say about the podcast. It would be lovely if you could comment on the YouTube channel if you like it and what you like and what you want to see in the future. So we have a little bit of feedback and we know if you like what you see or if you want something to be changed.
Cool.
Shall we head into the show?
Yeah, I think so. Have fun, everyone.
Little darling, it's been a long, long racing season. Little darling, it's time to rest and find a home. Here comes the hounds, didn't you know? Here comes the hounds, and I say it's for life. Hounds for life. Hounds for life.
For our first segment for this episode, we feature Rachel from Nightrave Greyhounds. Rachel has been working with dogs and horses for over 30 years now, and she is considered a Greyhound Guru. She is a behaviourist and a trainer, and in this segment she will be showing you guys a little bit about obedience, and she does even touch on agility, which is super interesting for people that own greyhounds. So pop on over and have a look and see how it goes. Yeah.
And I'm sure you learn heaps of things if you have just recently got your new retired greyhound.
Yeah, she's a phenomenal woman, so I really enjoyed watching it and editing it.
The first thing we need to do is make sure our greyhound is focusing on us. Good boy. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to wait until he gives us focus, and then we're going to give him a reward. Good boy. When he does something we don't like so much, like jumps up, we're not going to tell him he's wrong because we don't want to stop him from giving us behaviours in the future. We want him to be confident to offer behaviours. Good dog. And as you can see, Ted noticed when I was moving and then thought about it and decided to give me focus again. Good boy. Once the dog's giving you focus, the next thing we're going to do is get him to do what's called a hand touch. Yeah, good boy. Good boy. So when the dog does a hand touch, we want him to focus and put his nose on the palm of our hand. Teddy. Good boy. Well done. Yeah, good dog. Good boy. So you'll notice I don't have the treat in my hand when I'm asking him to do that behaviour. I have the treat in one hand and the other palm, and then I give him the treat. What a good boy. What a good boy. So he's not just focusing on the treat, he's focusing on me. And that's what I want. Yeah, good man. Good dog. So the next thing that we're going to ask him to do is a game called It's Your Choice. When we play It's Your Choice, we have some pieces of treat in our hands, like this. We offer our closed hand to the dog and he will try to get the treat. Teddy. Good boy. When he leaves my hand, I open it. When he tries to take the treat, I close my hand. When he leaves my open hand, I pick up the treat with the other hand and give it to him. And this is an exercise in the dog learning self-restraint. This is an exercise in the dog figuring out that the best way to get what he wants is not to dive in head first. It's to wait and think and maybe offer a behaviour, and then he will get what he needs. Yeah. Good boy. Good dog. Good dog. Good dog. Well done. The next thing we can teach our dog is we're going to teach him a little bit about position. So we want to teach him about heel position. And so we can move him into heel position against our left side like that. Good boy. Good boy. And we're just going to feed him in that position so that he realises that this is a really cool place to be. The other place we're going to teach him about being is front. So that's with his nose pointing at my belly button. Teddy. Good boy. Good boy. And we want him to be relatively straight onto us because later on this position is going to be a sit. At the moment it's not. When he does something like that and jumps up and we don't like it very much, once again we don't tell him we don't like it, we just don't reward him. Good boy. That's a good boy. That's better. Good man. Good dog. Good dog. Well done. And we just do a few repetitions of every behaviour. We don't go on and on for hours. The treats that we use for our obedience training are chopped up dog roll, one of the hard dog rolls like Possyum or Chunky. Today we were using Possyum. These are really nice to keep in your pocket, unlike the dog rolls that you get from the supermarket chiller. They are much better for your dog than the treats that you can buy in packets. They are really easy to break up once you're using them, and so yeah, and most dogs find them really, really palatable. So they're a really good choice, and most dog clubs that you may join will recommend those anyway to you as the best treats for dog training. When you bring your new greyhound home, you shouldn't rush straight into obedience training. If you start trying to teach him to sit on the first day, you're not going to get very far. You need to have a bond with your dog first, but you will from the very beginning start teaching him about weight, start teaching him how to get in and out of the car, start teaching him to walk nicely on the lead, because even though he probably has been taught how to do that, your relationship with him is still new. The trick training and things like we've just shown, you'd start about week 3 or 4. Depending how food motivated your greyhound is, you might start hand touch and things like that in week 1 or even week 2. Training for things like sit will probably wait until week 4, 5 or even 6. There are a lot of dog sports that you can get into with your greyhound once you've built up your training bond. You would start with your beginner class at your local dog club, and once you've gone on from there, there are lots and lots of things you can do. You can do Canine Good Citizen, which is a nationally recognised set of certificates that you can do. There's agility training where the dogs jump and go through tunnels and things like that, and provided your greyhound's not too large or too old, you should be able to do that. Many 4-year-old greyhounds excel at agility, so they don't have to be very, very young, but if they're 8 years old, that's probably too late to be starting agility. There's obedience training. You can do competition obedience, you can do rallyo, so there are lots and lots of different things that you and your dog can do together, which will reinforce your bond, and you'll have a great time and meet lots and lots of people and have an absolute ball.
In today's episode we are featuring Shannah and her first greyhound, Tui. We will learn everything about how she became a greyhound owner to start with, and what made her to adopt a racing greyhound, and why it was Tui, and how the first time was, and it was so lovely to actually hear the story, which I didn't know. The whole story.
I didn't know you didn't know.
No, so
it's private.
Now it's not private
now
anymore.
It's not private.
Okay, enjoy.
Alrighty. Hi everyone, my name's Shannah, and today I'm here with Tui, our greyhound. We are currently living in Marlborough, which is at the top of the South Island of New Zealand. I first heard about greyhounds when I was a kid, and I witnessed my first greyhound encounter when I was at university in Christchurch. And I saw a woman walking with 2 of her greyhounds, and they were both wearing coats. And I looked at my partner and said, I definitely need to get one of those dogs. They're so groovy, they're so beautiful and so sleek, and they get to wear coats, which is cute. So after I finished university, I moved in with my partner, and I got a job as soon as I could so that I could save up for our very own greyhound. We found Tui through Nightrave. And what struck us about Tui was, for starters, he's a really beautiful greyhound. He is black, he's just stunning, and the Tui is my favourite bird. So we contacted Nightrave, and they set up a meeting for us, and we met Tui, and he was so uninterested in us. He was so much more interested in the treats, but after a while he really warmed up to us, and we knew that he was going to be our dude. So we said yes, we want to take him, he's awesome, and we waited a week, and I think he arrived at our house on a Friday or a Saturday, and pretty much the first thing that we did when we got him was we put his pajamas on, which I still have, because we wanted to know. I can actually show you the clip of his first time in these pajamas, I still have it, because we really wanted to know what he would look like, and honestly it was like the happiest moment of my life. And yeah, so he's been our dude ever since. To set up for him coming home, we strictly followed Nightrave's guidelines. When you adopt from Nightrave, they give you these really awesome guidelines and training programs to help you settle in with your greyhound and to help them settle in with you. So we really followed that, which I think was really beneficial for us and for Tui. Within a week he was playing with his toys, and within 3 months he had fully come out of his shell, and I couldn't imagine my life without him. He is our rock. He's always there when you're sad or happy or angry, anything. He's just our dude. I love him so much. He's so awesome. Tui is always tired. He has constant busy days according to him. And if you are talking too much, then he sighs. And that is him asking you, please go away, I'm over you. I'm very tired, I'm busy man. So Tui has very unique traits. He has cute little characteristics that we love. One remarkable thing about Tui was when we first got him, we had two pet rats, and we actually trained Tui with our rats, which was a very long process but very worth it, and he actually grew to really love them. One day I came home and found him, I couldn't find him anywhere, and I was calling out his name, and he was in the room with the rats. He just loves them so much. He was so gentle with them, such a big dog. So yeah, that's our story about Tui. Very simple and very sweet, and yeah. Tui's favourite treat is a rotisserie chicken. Our longest walk with Tui was over an hour long, I think, and he was well shattered by the end. Tui is allowed both in and on our bed, but he normally asks before he gets up. He just stares at you for a really long time, and then he likes to be lifted up because he's really lazy. When Tui's happy, he nibbles at your skin, which is called knitting, your skin or your clothes, and it's really cute, and I still remember the first time he did it to me, and when they do that, it means they really, really love you. Tui does sleep in pyjamas. He really struggles in the winter. He's quite a thin dude, so he has his pyjamas, which we've had since day one. He loves them. Tui doesn't really demand cuddles, apart from the steering thing. Sometimes if he really wants something, he will bark or pace and whine, but it's very, very rare. He's a pretty chill dude. The smartest thing Tui ever did was when we had the two rats. One day, one rat got out, and it started running down the hallway, and Tui started running after it, and I asked him to stop, and he did, which I found remarkable for a retired racing greyhound. Our rats were also white and fluffy, so he did really well. Tui doesn't really snore. He's really, really quiet. Tui's favourite toy are the toys that are the big, long, soft toys. They have the squeakers all throughout the neck, and then one big one in the body, and he loves them. Like, he literally will play with them every day, and he'll always pick that out of all the toys, and he'll play with that until it's gone, and then we just replace it with a new one. Yeah. So my partner and I, because I work with greyhounds every day, we made a pact that we would only ever have 2 of our own greyhounds, and that is just the deal, just 2. Yeah. Thank you guys for having me on the show and allowing me to share mine and Tui's story. I'm so grateful for him, and I'm so grateful for the greyhound community for being so welcoming and just amazing. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you later. I hope you guys enjoyed both mine and Tui's segment.
It was lovely.
Yeah, he's an awesome dude. You couldn't even see him in the bit where I'm talking because he's so lazy. He's just like...
Yeah, he was actually next to Shannah on the couch.
Yeah, and occasionally he would go...
Yeah. All right, so next upcoming is a how-to segment where I show you how to make out of very basic items that you can find in your local hardware store an extendable training leash for your greyhound training. For this project you need a poly rope from your hardware store, about 10 millimeter in thickness. You need a clip, you need a fit or a replacement for a fit, which is my pen here, and a lighter. We are starting by unraveling from the rope around about 6.5 to 7 meters, or however long you want your training leash in the end, minus 60 centimeters for both ends. So for example, if you want a 6 meter training leash, you have to unravel 6 meters 60 centimeters. Or if you want a 10 meter training rope, you have to unravel 10 meters plus 60 centimeters of your rope. You take your scissors or a sharp knife and a chopping board and cut the rope in a slightly angle, and then you pull out the inner of your rope for about 30 centimeters, and you do that by peeling back the outer skin of the rope and then pulling out the inner reinforcement. And then when you are at about 30 centimeters, you take the scissors or your knife again and just cut it off and dispose of it. Then you go back to the part of the rope where the skin has been bundled up, and gently from the rope part towards the tip you are sliding back the outer skin, and then you have the 30 centimeters for the at the top of your rope where we do a sling. The first step is again to cut it to have a nice edge, and then take the lighter and melt the polycord slightly so it doesn't fray. You want also to wetten your fingers and make, while it is still warm, a kind of a pointy edge there, so we can fit it in our fit or into our DIY fit. That would be you take a very cheap pen, one of the giveaways you get, and take off the top part, which normally screws off. Make sure it's a slim design. It has to be not much bigger than the rope itself, so the diameter should be under 10 mil. And also keep the inner ink part of the pen. You might need it if your rope gets stuck. So you're threading in the rope in your DIY fit, and then make a loop which has the size of the sling that you want for your handle. And then you, without damaging the fabric of the rope, you thread through the fit. Make sure your rope is still in there and follows. Once from one side to the other, and then you turn around, make a loop and thread it through the other side. Leave a little bit of a gap in between, like 3 centimeters will do. And now you have thread your rope through, but this will not hold, it will still slide. So in what you have to do is you have to create a lock, and to do that you turn your fit again and go through the middle, through both ropes. Just making sure that your loop will lock in and won't get loose, even if there is a strong pull on the lead. Careful if you thread through your fit that you are not damaging the fabric of the rope. That would weaken it. And then you can test it. Pull as hard as you can on both ends and you will see this knot is not going anywhere. So all we have to do now is to make sure the end is tucked away nice and neatly, which is also reinforcing the rope. So you've get your fit part back from the top where the knot is down to the end of the rope towards the part that is filled, and then slide the other end of the fit back out there so you can actually slide the outer skin of the rope over the end bit and pull it gently through. If you get stuck here, that's where the other part of the pen comes in, the ink part. It will help you to get the rope through. So now you can cut off the piece of rope that is not needed and take the lighter again to prevent fraying of the fabric by melting it slightly down, and again make a pointy edge with it so it can neatly tuck away inside of the rope. Make a test, pull it through so it sits in nicely. And here is it, one side done. Now you repeat the whole procedure on the other end as well. When you have done this procedure on both ends, you have a rope of about 6 meter length with two ends which have both handles or loops, and through one of these you can actually put your clip through, and here you go. You got your training leash, is all ready to go. One handle is for the hand and the other is where the clip attaches to the collar of your dog. Now when you're finished with your training and you want to go on a walk with your dog, you can braid your rope by looping it, one loop through the other, and make a lovely, actually quite fashionable and practical walking leash out of it, which would have the size of approximately 1.4 meters if you are going with my size of the training leash, which was 6.6 meters. You carefully loop the rope, starting at the end where the clip is attached, making the loops as tight as possible and working your way to the end, to the other end of the training leash, which would be the handle where you put your hand through. When you're at the end, you have to do the last loop and then pull the handle through the last loop to secure it and tighten it up. And there you have it. You have a beautiful walking leash for your greyhound. Now there are other possibilities you can do with this piece of rope, which is awesome. You can have it in your car ready for emergencies. Even if you don't have a clip, you can use this rope for an emergency if you have to catch a dog unexpectedly. or a dog without a collar. You can make it into a slip lead. So you pull back, you take out the clip, you pull back about 3 or 4 loops, and then you are pulling the loose end through your sling, through to a sling. But be careful, don't use a sling on a dog if you're not experienced with that, because it can hurt the dog, it can choke the greyhound, or it can even hurt the neck. And here you have it. This is your 6.5 meter long training leash, and ready to go to be braided in just a few minutes into a beautiful walking leash that you can show off at the dog park. And here's also a smaller version of it. Enjoy your project and let us know in the comments how it went, and send us some photos to our email address, and we would love to see what you do. Thanks again for watching and have fun. Bye.
That was awesome. I'm so glad that you did that because it's really cool, especially if you have a longer lead. And I'm really into knotting at the moment.
Yeah.
That really got me into it. Now I make little bracelets. I haven't got any. Maybe I should make collars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be lovely.
Let me know if you guys would like knotted collars. They're quite cool. It's really fun to make. Anyway, this next segment is our foster segment, and this week, as I said before, we have a dude called Major who is super fluffy and super cool. He's a really, really awesome dude, and yeah, get to know him a little bit. And
He's got a lovely temperament, eh?
He really does. He reminds me a lot of Tui. But yeah, please let us know if you're interested in adopting him. It's a little bit tricky sometimes to rehome the black hounds, because obviously there are so many variations, but just because they're a different colour doesn't make them any less of a cool greyhound. So,
exactly.
Yeah, please enjoy. Hi everyone, today we're here with Major, whose race name was Thrilling Major. Major is a 4-year-old male who is currently in our foster care, and he is available for adoption. He hasn't quite yet mastered the couch. He hasn't quite yet mastered the couch thing, but I'm sure no doubt he'll get there within due time. He is a really cool dude. He reminds me a lot of my boy. He is super chill, he is really playful, really curious, and really handsome. And the coolest thing is he's so fluffy. Like, I don't know if you can see, but he's just like so fluffy, like a husky undercoat type thing. Oh, he's sitting. And yeah, this is him. So if you guys would like to adopt him, then please get in touch with us so we can organise something. Yeah, he's so cool, and I really wish him the best home in the world. See ya! Say bye, handsome man! See you, bye, handsome man! Yeah! Good boy.
Little darling, it's been a long, long racing season. Little darling, it's time to rest and find a home. Here comes the hounds, didn't you know? Here comes the hounds, and I say it's for life. Hounds for life. Hounds for life.
Last but not least, we take you on a walk. This time we are going to our local dog exercise area in Picton. It is not a park, it's not fully fenced. It is different to the other segment we showed. It is just a nice area where you can walk a dog off leash or on the leash, and where you can meet other dogs and other dog owners, the locals, and we have a chit chat, and it's absolutely lovely. And I love to go there if I have no time for a longer walk. It's around 10 to 15 minutes and you are done. And as you know by now, if you watch this podcast series from the start, that most of the greyhounds are more than happy with that exercise for a day.
Cool bananas. So that is episode 5 completed. Please let us know what you guys think. It's so important for us to get feedback from the greyhound community, and I don't know, even people that don't even have a greyhound. It's the reason we made this was for you guys, so if we could get as much feedback as possible in the form of likes or dislikes or comments, anything, be awesome. We will collate it all, and we can even make a Q&A if you guys would like that, to ask any questions. And see you guys.
Bye!
Say bye, Silka. Bye.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
No.